Hey guys, I'm Isaac from Contender Bicycles, and today we're going to be going over our e-bike guide, as we do have many options in the store for you to choose from. A lot of people like to say, oh, you shouldn't have an e-bike, or you don't have a reason for having an e-bike, and say that e-bikes are only for people who may be a little bit older, may have a disability, like an injury or some sort. But I think that is simply not the case. Let's say you only have time to ride after work and you have a very short time period where you can ride. E-bikes give you more of an availability to ride further and be able to get to a trail you would want to in that shorter amount of time. Maybe you only have a couple hours to ride, but you want to do more laps on your favorite loop. An e-bike will let you do more laps on your favorite loop within the same amount of time. Or maybe your kids have simply just gotten too fast for you. Any of these reasons are perfectly valid for wanting an e-bike. Or maybe simply you just want to have some fun on a bike and not worry about as much about pedaling. E-bikes are a great way to reduce fatigue while on the bike. I think a common misconception is that if you're riding an e-bike, you're not going to get a workout. I don't think that is true. I think that if you're riding for the same amount of time and putting in the same amount of work, you're going to get the same workout. But instead, you just get to go further, see more things, or in the opposite way, if you don't want to get a good as a workout and you want to do the same loop you always do, but you want a little bit less fatigue, an e-bike is perfect for that. You see a lot of professional athletes using them on recovery days, which is a great example of how an e-bike can be used even for people who are extremely in great shape. But there are quite a few e-bike options to choose from. Here we have the Santa Cruz Heckler, the Orbea Rise, and the SCOR 4060Z LT. There are quite a few options, and how do you know which one is going to suit your ride style and your purposes best? The Santa Cruz Heckler is got 160 millimeters on the fork and 150 millimeters of travel in the rear. This is going to be great for somebody who likes to get kind of playful on the trail and likes a bike that can handle bigger features but is also fun on shorter rides and super snappy. This bike has a 29er configuration or a mullet configuration, so you can get this with a 27.5 rear wheel. Being able to option that in with a 27.5 rear wheel is really awesome, because then you have a bike that's super playful, really snappy in the rear end and corners well. And on an e-bike that's a little bit heavier, that snappy rear end can make a big difference. These bikes come spec'd with 85 Newton meters of torque, powered by that Shimano EPA, and then they have a 720 watt-hour battery. So you have plenty of life in there. Very big battery. The Orbea Rise is a little bit more on the lightweight scene. This bike is going to feel more similar to your normal mountain bike, and it's going to feel more familiar. It doesn't have the same kick to it as the Heckler might, as it has 65 Newton meters of torque instead of the 85. It does use the same motor, but Orbea has what they call the RS tune from Shimano, which means it's tuned downwards torque spec wise to make the bike feel more natural and very similar to your normal mountain bike as the rider. These bikes come in an alloy or carbon version, which means that they are super versatile for your price range, because you can get the alloy ones, save a couple bucks, but maybe gain a few pounds. They come with 140 millimeters of travel in the rear, and you can spec them with 140 or 150 on the fork, giving you a fairly versatile, very centered trail platform. These bikes, normally on the very lightweight carbon end of things, will come with a 360 watt-hour battery, but in the alloy ones, and you can also spec this on the newer carbon ones, is you can also get them spec'd with a 540 watt-hour battery if you want more battery life. It's still not quite as big as the Heckler or our SCOR here, but it is quite a lot of battery life for people who like long days. The SCOR is going to be for the all-around descender. It's somebody who wants the most descending performance they can get out of a bike. With 170 millimeters of travel on the fork and 160 in the rear, this SCOR is modeled after their non-e-bike, the SCOR 4060 LT, which is their enduro bike. And being modeled off of that geometry, it is meant to descend hard and fast. It is very capable in rowdy terrain. It has the same battery, the 720 watt-hour battery, as the Heckler, and the same torque at 85 Newton meters from the Shimano EP8. But it is going to feel a little bit heavier as you're getting a heavier fork. You're going to get a heavier casing tires, and maybe you might spec it with like bigger brakes or rotors as comparatively to some of these other bikes, as it is very descent oriented. But if you're somebody who likes to find the biggest descents they can, super rowdy rock lines and big drops, the SCOR is going to be the one for you. So while these bikes are fairly similar, they are different and each one might suit you differently. If you're more of an average mountain biker who wants just a normal day out on the trail, I might go with the Rise. If you're a mountain biker who still values a bike that is fun and snappy like the Rise, but you want something that might jump a little bit more and you want a little bit more kick of the motor and you maybe want more battery life, you might want to go with the Heckler. If you're all about descending and rowdiness, go with the SCOR. Here at Contender, we do have plenty of e-bike options and something that will fit your ride style. If you guys are looking to get an e-mountain bike and get into the sport, you feel free to visit us on our website, contenderbicycles.com, or visit us in store in Contender Salt Lake City or Contender Park City. Thank you so much for watching.